Welcome back to the Daily Flip podcast. I'm your host, Alex, and today we're going to be flipping through a story talking about tragedy in the District of Columbia. So today we had a incident around 4 p.m., at least that's when it hit the major news channels, having to do with the National Guard in the district. Two of them particularly were shot, and it appears, even though there are some conflicting reports, that they were killed about a mile away from the White House. And that is the main talking point that walks away from this, which is it is so close to the White House, it hits close to home, and that's why you're seeing at least reportedly, that's why you're seeing a large response from the White House and executive officials such as the FBI director, DOJ, so on and so forth, and Pete Hegseth, even though his office is far away. The president has said that they want to double, if not overall increase, add another 500 National Guard members to D.C. after this tragic event. I want to know your opinion. Is this the right response? Was this bound to happen because of the presence of National Guard in conflict with criminals? Are we putting the lives of our National Guard members at risk by doing it? Is this simply a senseless act? There are lots of different beliefs, versions of this that you can filter it through. I'm sure there are biases on every side that will lead them to one conclusion or another, but regardless, two men who have said they would serve their state and then go on to serve at the behest of the District of Columbia, their lives are lost now, and devoid of all of the politics. This is a senseless act, it appears, so far. We do not know the motivations of the person who shot both of them. We know that he or she is critically injured, and the motivation, I'll be honest, doesn't inherently matter. If it's politically targeted, that's senseless violence. If it's response to the National Guard doing their job and the person was a criminal, it's senseless violence. If it was this person was crazy and had a gun, it's senseless violence. There's no political spin that needs to be put on this. This is unacceptable. We live in a nation where we inherently have respect for those who have served. We do not see them as liars. We do not see them as individuals who are enacting their own vision. If we want to blame somebody for the actions of the military, we don't blame the military members, the National Guard members. We blame their superiors. We blame the people in charge. And that's not to say that military members can't do things wrong. If it comes out that these two military members were taunting somebody, it doesn't justify what happened to them, but of course our perspective would be different. But I believe our inherent reaction as a nation is one of mourning, one of a sad tragedy, regardless of the circumstances that surround it, as it should be. These are two human lives, and these are two human lives who saw not just an opportunity to join the National Guard, but saw a purpose, that had a vocation in doing so, in serving the state government, and at this point, by proxy, the national government. So we'll see how the response goes. This is going to be a short episode. We're going to talk about Trump's response and what Hegseth has said, and we're basically going to leave it there. It's a relatively breaking news thing. I had no intent of covering this today, and then I saw the reports come out. I had to get home and read off an article and have some quotes rather than just seeing some news reports. So, quote, President Trump wants to send an additional 500 National Guard to Washington, D.C. This article comes from Axios, by the way. Headline reads, Trump wants another 500 National Guard in D.C. after shooting near the White House. Quote, after two National Guards were shot just blocks from the White House Wednesday, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said, and then they go on to say, quote, state of play, the D.C. Attorney General Brian Slocum has challenged the deployment and said in a recent court filing that the National Guard is expected to remain in D.C. through the summer of 2026. And the other important piece of context here, quote, nearly 2,200 National Guard troops were still in D.C. as of Tuesday, down from its peak of 2,500. And it looks like there will be another resurgence of people that the Trump administration decides to pull in from any given National Guard in West Virginia. That's where these two individuals were from. The governor came out and made a statement, and we'll see if they're willing to send more, if other states will pull back. I'll be curious to see where this next surge of national government comes from. But with that, if you want to read this entire article, it'll be linked in the description below that like and subscribe button. Also down there, you can find the podcast on Spotify, Spotify, as well as the Twitter handle at Your Daily Flip, where I post links to these episodes on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and the 6 and 6 podcast that comes out on Tuesday and Thursday with 6 stories from around the world, and we're supposed to be done with it in 6 minutes or less. So with that said, there's only one more thing to say. Stay safe. Don't die.